Guys, it's me going to react to a statement tribute to women, statement on Ms Khumalo. I just want to show you something before I read their statement out loud. I want to go to the supreme law of the land, the Constitution of the Republic. Let's do that quickly. So here in paragraph 2, it talks about the supremacy of the Constitution. It says, this Constitution is the supreme law of the Republic. Law or conduct inconsistent with it is invalid, and obligations imposed by it must be fulfilled. So why am I reading that? Well, it is to establish if the letter we are about to read is consistent with the Constitution itself. How would we know that? We have to find what the letter is saying and test it back to the stipulations of the Constitution. So let's then go to paragraph 35 of the Constitution and see if indeed it has any prohibitions that may be directly linked to what is written in that letter by tribute to women. Okay, so here we are. I said paragraph 35. So look at paragraph 35, which talks about, and we'll look at subparagraph 3 of paragraph 35, right? There we go. Every accused person has a right to a fair trial, which includes the right to be informed of the charge with sufficient detail to answer it, to have adequate time and facilities to prepare defense, to a public trial before an ordinary court, to have their trial begin and conclude without unreasonable delay, to be present when being tried, to choose and be represented by a legal practitioner and informed of this right promptly, to have a legal practitioner assigned to the accused person by the state at the state expense if substantial injustice would otherwise result, and to be informed of this right promptly, to be presumed innocent, to remain silent and not to testify during proceedings, to adduce and challenge evidence, not to be compelled to give self-incriminating evidence, to be tried in a language that the accused person understands, or if that is not practicable, to have the proceedings interpreted in that language, not to be convicted for an act or omission that was not an offense under either national or international law at the time it was committed or omitted, not to be tried for an offense in respect of an act or omission for which that person had previously been either acquitted or convicted, to the benefit of the least severe of the prescribed punishment if the prescribed punishment for the offense has been changed between the time that the offense was committed and the time of sentencing, and to appeal or review by a higher court. But I'd like to take you back to show you that that person has what? A right to be presumed innocent. Did you see that? A right to be presumed innocent in paragraph H. Okay, let's quickly then go back to the letter by tribute to women. So I received this on a tweet this morning. We have noted with concern various comments on social media platforms and calls for many patrons of our festival. We respect the legal processes and wish to indicate that Ms Khumalo is innocent until proven otherwise, meaning they agree with the Constitution. However, in the interest of safeguarding our festival, management has taken the decision to relieve Ms Khumalo of her obligations to perform at our festival this year, to afford her and the team the time they require to deal with the issues emanating from the current court proceedings. Thanking you, the tribute to women. This is hypocrisy on steroids. Why am I saying that? I'm a South African. I'm black. I believe, and at the time Senzo Mayiwa was shot dead, I was literally a supporter of football because I grew up playing football. I was a supporter of football and I was a staunch Pirates supporter all my life. Even now that I no longer support football, the first thing that comes to my mind when you talk about football is Orlando Pirates. Now, the point though is this. I could never, being such a staunch supporter of Amabagania, I could never expect any person that has not been tried and found guilty beyond reasonable doubt for the death of Senzo think that such a person should be stripped of their income, should be denied an opportunity to make income simply because there's a public outcry by people who are not qualified to find anybody guilty. Let's talk a little bit, for an example, about the colonel that led to this big hoo-ha that is amongst us in the communities. Did you see that after the presentation of cross-examination by Mshololo, it seems as though that his evidence is shaking? Did you see that? So it is very important for ordinary lay people like us to reserve our opinions concerning justice until justice has been served. Put yourself in the shoes of Ms Khumalo. Put yourself. We could ask questions. Why is Ms Khumalo not being called to court? There's nothing wrong with that. That's an opinion. But for tribute to women to make a decision, claiming that they are paying a tribute to women to make a decision to sideline a woman from an income earning capacity or generating capacity in the name of wanting to allow their festival to fulfill its obligations, and then they claim that they are relieving her of, as long as there was no payment. If she was doing that pro bono, then I would understand it. But if she was doing that and there was an income that accrued to her because of that festival, if I were in her shoes, as a matter of fact, I would encourage her to sue them. Why? Because they are literally violating the Constitution, having quoted it. Remember what the Constitution says in paragraph 2. This Constitution is the supreme law of the Republic. I'm paraphrasing. Any law contrary to it, it says any law or action contrary to it shall be null and void. So, if they already had an agreement with her to perform there in that festival, and based now on the proceedings of what is happening in Senzo Meyiwa's trial, they are now beginning to say, it may not go well for us. That's not good. That's no different from the employer that dismisses an individual simply because there's an outcry on social media. That's called cancelling. We've got to berate ourselves of the cancel culture. The cancel culture is anti-democratic. The cancel culture is unconstitutional. It's very important for people to know this. And the quickest way to know it is to place yourself in the person's position. Or if that was your mother, that was your sister. And people must stop being hypocrites and say, yeah, Kelly, this, Kelly. Place yourself in her shoes. Place yourself in Senzo's shoes. Once you place yourself, if Senzo was your brother, Kelly was your sister, you are in a better position to allow for the law. I've got my opinions on the matter, and I may I may make them known publicly, but they are not important until the judgment takes its course by qualified professionals. Because what's going to happen here is people find somebody guilty, and then the court doesn't find that person guilty, and then people think that injustice was done, and then they forget that they have absolutely no competency in the area, none whatsoever. So I thought I would do a short video on that. You tell me what you think about it. Is it reasonable for them to make a statement, tribute, and they are called tribute to women, for crying out loud? They are sidelining, cancelling a woman because there is a social media outcry. Yet they claim, we have observed that. That's not what we are doing by cancelling her. And that's a joke. That's a serious joke. Tell me what you think about it. Now, please don't voice your voice. Don't voice your opinion about whether you think she's guilty or not. That's not what I'm asking you. I am saying to you, a social injustice and unconstitutional conduct is being perpetrated against a female in the day of an age where South Africans are supposed to be fighting against gender-based violence. Violence is not only physical. When you take from a woman a source of her income, that is violence. You are doing violence to that woman. Remember that. Violence is not just physical. Now, how can they sustain this behavior or substantiate to say we are relieving her to go prepare? Did she ask for it? If they can prove that she asked to say, you know what, guys, there is a lot of my name in the public domain. I would not be comfortable. I know we have a contract. Can you release me from that contract? And they can attach that for us to see. Then yippee. But people should not be abused in the name of relieving them to allow them to prepare for something they never asked to prepare for in the first place. That's my view. What is yours? Okay, tell me what you think about it. Like, subscribe, and share the video.